I'm always as honest as I can be.
Yep, that's
Because sometimes the truth hurts, and I'm not into hurting people. But I'm as honest as I can be. But I'll tell the truth here. I don't like a lot of shows on television.
Yep, you say it. That's true.
For the most part, television sucks. I just don't like a lot of shows. I find myself at home. I watch a lot of sports. I watch a lot of repeats of shows. I can probably name every single episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, and Everybody Hates Chris. Those are like my favorite shows in the world. So I find myself watching a lot of repeats. It's hard to get me, our very own Mike Muse can attest to this, to watch a new show. It's hard. It's just like, okay, I was cool. I watched Seinfeld too. I watched that a lot.
Classic.
But it's hard for me to get into these new shows. I don't know why. Maybe because the way the industry is now, you get into something and then by season 3 or 4, it's gone, it's over. And it's like, damn, I just wasted like 18 episodes of my life on something and now it's out of my life. But then this thing comes along called Abbott Elementary. My goodness. I don't know how I stumbled across it. I don't know if it was the imagery or something about it that spoke to my heart and spirit, but it put me in that place that I grew up as a kid when we would run home to watch television to catch every episode. It put me in a mind frame when I would come home as a young adult. I got to watch Martin tonight. I got to check it out. That's what this put me in the mind frame of. So when I got invested in this show, I would go around. Y'all watching Abbott Elementary? Where you been? What? Why y'all ain't tell me? Nobody told me about this. I love it. Young, old, older than old, younger than young. Everybody seems to enjoy this show, man. And I think the thing about it is when I saw you on this show, I was rooting for the show. I was rooting for this show because I wanted it to win because I want you to win. And when I found out the story about Quinta, and then I saw the legend, the icon, Miss Cheryl Lee Ralph, who every time I say her name, we just got to give her a round of applause, and the camaraderie and everything, I said, they got one. They got one. Welcome him back to the show because we got one. We got him here. Citizen of Sway in the Morning. The one, the only Tyler James Williams. TJW.
Thank you. That's like
all true.
I mean, forget an intro. That's love, man. That's that. It hits differently, because that's ultimately all you ever really want to do. You want to make something that people can get excited about, that they can become like part of their lives and their world. And like, that's the beautiful thing about this show for me, is watching that happen again. And coming into people's living rooms and becoming a part of their routines and their lives. And that's the beautiful thing about TV when it's done well. And, you know, I got nothing but love for this room, for everybody in this room, man. I always feel like immense amounts of love here, so that it really means the most.
It just all truth. Like I said, I find myself when I'm watching this show and just being blessed, let me say this, to have experience in television and film. I'm like, how many times did they do this take? Because I would break character every 5 minutes. Like, if I'm home watching this and busting out laughing, how do y'all stay in character on set?
We don't. We don't. That's the thing. It's so hard, man. There are takes where, or just whole scenes, I'm like, I don't even know what we're going to be able to keep here, because we're all fans of the show. And like, I don't watch the show when it's done. Like I don't really watch the edits or what you guys end up seeing. I watch the show when we're shooting it. And it's just so good. And that's really not everybody else. It's so good and people are so funny. That's how I know there's something there, is that we can barely make it through a take. That's how I like. There's a few episodes, stuff that we just shot on last Friday, that like it's gonna tear your mouth out. It is. It's gonna tear your mouth out. It's we couldn't keep it together, and that's what I think is so fun about it, is when you do a show that's like, kind of chuckle funny, you can feel it.
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you do a show that's like, I can't keep myself together, you get excited about what the audience is going to see.
Yeah, man. I love it. Tracy?
Is there a reason, Tyler, that you prefer watching it while you're filming versus when the entire product is complete?
I think I'm too critical of the final product.
Yeah.
I think I'm way too critical of the final product, particularly my stuff. I can't really enjoy it. When doing it on the day also, there's a whole nother show that you guys don't see. That's the privilege that I get to have. I get to see that other show that isn't going to make it because of time or it gets left on the editing room floor. That's my show. That's the show that like I get to hold on to and keep near and dear. And like, you know, people use memes and stuff all over the place, and there's stuff that we just have from the edit that we can send to each other. That's, to me, the beautiful part of doing the show. I have a separate show I get a chance to watch and participate in.
Wow, man. Thank you for sharing that with us, too.
Yeah, no, it's a really, at some point, you you should come by.
We would love to.
You should
We
stop
would
by.
love to.
Yeah.
We would love to.
You guys should
Thank you.
stop. We're shooting now.
Okay.
And we just
Okay, let's leave work.
yeah, let's go. But we
Field
just got
trip.
picked up for season 4. So
Man.
Come on.
just got picked up for
Obviously,
season 4.
Congratulations.
So yeah, sometime in the summer, stop by. It would
No,
be
we
great.
will. We shoot out in LA once every other month or
Okay.
something like that.
Then
We're out there
yeah,
for the
no,
week. We'll
100%
definitely
come by.
We would love to,
That would be
man.
great.
Wow.
Just to watch you
That would be
guys
great.
and the magic that
It's fun.
happens.
It's
man.
super fun.
We would
Thank
love it.
you. It's really
Man,
fun. You'd
thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah, bring the whole Sway in the morning.
Yeah,
crew.
bring everybody.
Have a good time. Mike Muse.
Yeah. I have a question for your character. For me on television is so important, and I think it serves such an important role. It's rare we get a chance to see that on television and to see a black man with so much range of a storyline. I'm just curious, as you were thinking about this character, for you, like, who did you think about when you were constructing who your character is?
The men in my family, my dad, my grandfathers, my uncles, they were fully fleshed out human beings. That's what I love about them so much. And the conflicts that they have in their lives aren't necessarily the things that you're used to seeing on TV. They're just trying to show up and be good men in the places that they have to be. And that's what, when I approached Gregory, was the first thing on my mind. This isn't a guy who is trying to shuck his responsibilities. This isn't somebody who's got your typical sitcom struggles. His struggles are just trying to exist in this space and do the best that he can. And I wanted to bring the humanity of my father and my grandfathers and my uncles to network television.
Yep.
And that was really important from the jump. And when me and Quinta talked about it for the first time, she had the exact same feeling. That was the thing that let me know that we had something here. We were on the same page about it immediately.
Yeah. It's rare because we don't get a chance to see black men playing characters who are seeking perfection.
Yes.
Right, and seeking excellence. And I think that is such a dynamic that black men have to wrestle with inside of corporate America. And so to see your character Gregory have to reconcile perfection and to reconcile wanting more. And in particular, we don't see black men in education space as one as a teacher, but then two wanting to become a superintendent or principal, or administrator, I'll say administrator.
Right.
And then also two, third, balancing out with gardening.
Yeah.
Like we don't even see, there's so many black men that I know who garden.
Yep, my father
There's so
included.
many black men that I know that tend to flowers and prune
Plants.
plants.
Yep.
And to see that is so fleshed out, it's just so special about that. If you can talk a little bit about that feeling when you're thinking about Gregory, how to reconcile of like seeking perfection and stepping up to home plate, expecting to hit a grand slam.
I think we're always in a good place when we can show black men caring about things deeply. The reason why he seeks perfection is because he deeply cares about not only the kids in his life, but he's fully aware, and we kind of explored that a little bit in season 1, of what he represents to them. This may be one of the only times they see somebody in his position. I also feel like what is, I guess you could say, relatable in this is that every black man walking the face of the earth feels this high standard that he has to meet. We've always kind of had that. We have to do twice as much work to get half as far. But we don't necessarily always see the emotional toll that takes. We see the triumph, and I think the brilliance in Abbott is not the triumph of him getting to the principal position. It's watching him grapple with the emotions and the weight of that. He has several moments when he cracks, and those are the things in the episodes that I love the most. Is like, we have to show what this pressure does. We have to show how he cracks and then he comes back. That's the brilliance of the way Quinta and the writers' room approach Gregory. Is they don't want him always to just win, because that sets up an unrealistic standard, I feel like, for people. You need to be able to see these moments of failure, or it didn't quite go the way you thought, or getting to that position that you want to be in is going to take longer than you thought, but there's beauty in the moment. And those are the things that I cherish the most, and hopefully, make a difference over time.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Tyler James Williams is here, citizens. 888-742-3345. You want to talk to him, you can. Up next, I'm going to find out what made him come back to New York. Yeah. He lives here now.
Settle down.
So not only can we go to Cali, then we just might crash the pad for some food, too.
Why not? Stop by.
A little content.
We always have a little something.
We always got a little something. He's here, y'all. Let's talk to him. You can watch him every single week on Abbott Elementary, Wednesdays tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Having conversations. We're opening up the phone lines now, 888-742-3345. While the music was playing, I was sitting here thinking about Quinta Brunson, who we've never met. Mike, have
really?
you? No, we've
Not yet.
She hasn't been a guest on this show.
You need to experience Quinta.
I've met her, not for my show, but I've met her.
Met her, yeah. And thinking about her, thinking about Shonda Rhimes.
Yes.
Shout out to Shonda, who's a citizen of Sway in the Morning. We support her shows. I don't, Issa Rae. Shout out to her as well. Everything she was doing. Tyler Perry. Shout out to what Tyler Perry has been able to do in this industry in terms of shows and us supporting his shows as well.
Ava DuVernay.
Ava DuVernay, and shout out to what she's doing. I love that, and I'm hoping Tyler, which from one Tyler, to the other, switch over to you, because I don't want to leave anyone out. It's very important when I mention shows that I grew up watching and shows that I love to see. That there's a new wave and there's a new thing now, and if we try to list every single show, we'll be here all day. But I want to recognize these people who are putting in this work for television, for us that we run home and watch these shows. Is it a plan of yours at some point one day to possibly go into that? You producing shows and creating shows for other folks and young actors like yourself to be able to have a platform? Yeah,
definitely at some point. And to tell you the truth, the person who really keyed me onto it was Quinta. We would be talking about the show and things that were happening as it was taking off, because I'd had, success in television before. I could kind of tell when things were happening and predict what was happening next. And from these conversations we were having, she was like, yo, you talk like a producer. And I was like, I didn't even realize that that's what I'm doing. This is just what I've been in for so long. So yeah, it's coming at some point. I think I've built up a wealth of knowledge. This is like, a lot of people don't realize it's been 20 years since Everybody Hates Chris premiered.
Woo, child. What the
That was 2004.
This is a big year for 20-year anniversaries.
Oh my God.
So I've got 20 years of TV.
Tyler, you just made all of us go, oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Wow,
Congrats,
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
But that know-how and that knowledge, I do want to give back and kind of put my hands on something.
Wow.
I don't think I was even born yet.
Mike,
Right. My God.
you was born and smoking cigarettes like 20 years ago. Get the hell out of here with that. Right before we cut into the music, before Tracy jumps in, back to New York you are.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
Man, welcome back.
Oh, it's so good. I've been trying to get back home for the longest. So that's 20 years ago. I did a show about New York that took me to L.A. And I never really had a plan to go to L.A. I was always going to be a New York actor. I was just going to stay here and great. But Everybody Hates Chris, shout out there. And ever since then, I've been trying to get back. And then it was during the strike of this year. I was just like, now's my time. I'm coming back. I'm done. So Abbott still shoots there when I'm there. That's what I'm doing. But when I'm not, I have a sense of normalcy here, which is nice.
And
My
closer
life
to
doesn't
family.
Family. My life doesn't have to revolve around the industry.
Yes.
It's I can have a regular life here, so it's so good to be back.
You deserve that. You
Yeah.
deserve joy. That's
Thank
the
you.
one
That's-
thing we've
yeah.
been repeating here
Yes.
constantly.
And you have to, because you have to.
You have to.
If you don't tell yourself that, you'll forget.
Yep.
Yeah.
You deserve joy. Courtesy of Common. Tracy.
Thinking about your younger years with
Mm-hmm.
the 20-year anniversary of Everybody Hates Chris, it reminded me that you actually have two younger brothers
Yeah.
who have the same initials as you.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
they're both
yeah.
actors as well.
Uh-huh.
So one, is there a deeper meaning between the TJW? And then also, do you guys like help each other hone your acting skills?
So my mother, when she named us, she wanted us to always be connected. That was the thing. That was her goal. She was like, I want you to always, no matter what happens, be connected and take care of each other.
Beautiful.
And it's really developed more as we've gotten older, to the point where now we all live together. Yeah, it's yeah. We all choose
Oh, that's
to live
dope.
together on both
Beautiful.
coasts, and we just kind of like bounce back and forth.
Wow.
And yeah, we like hone everything.
Yeah.
Every creative decision that we make, we run by each other. There's nothing that you'll see or hear that I didn't kind of talk out with them first,
That is
to get their
gorgeous.
opinion on, because we have a really high standard and a high bar for everything. But they, I had my first show at 12. My middle brother had his first show at 12, and so did the baby boy.
Wow.
So there's an understanding that we have
Hell yeah.
of each other's experience that nobody else will ever have.
That is some divine
Yeah.
synchronicity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
It really is. It really is.
Wow. Because it's I don't know for all the citizens out there. I mean, it is not easy to get a job in this industry.
No.
Not even though we watch television, we were just talking about this at lunch. A commercial is hard to get.
Yeah.
A national network commercial.
The chances are astronomical.
Are astronomical.
Yeah.
Not the kind that they just give to celebrities.
No.
I'm talking about a real
Commercial.
audition commercial, and you go in, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So for all three siblings to
Mm-hmm.
have this beautiful gift, you just know God is real, and
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Oh, for sure. It's something that, like, to me, it's kind of like the teaching profession in the same way. You got to be called to it.
You have to be called
Because
to
if not, you're not going to be able to last, not just from the perspective of the talent of the thing, but it's difficult to go through those periods of time when there's not stuff, or when you're reading against 100 people and you have to be the one read that they pick. For Everybody Hates Chris, they read kids on both coasts.
Damn.
Really?
Both coasts. 2 years in a row is the thing. So like the first year I was on my way to the audition, and they said, go home. We found whoever it's going to be. And then they came back a year later still looking. So getting one job, the chances are out of this world. If you're not called to it, you're never going to be able to push through that. You have to be able to push through that time and looking at other people and knowing that what's for me is for me.
That is such brilliant. I don't even want to call it advice. Those experiences, I'm so glad that you shared that, because people need to hear that.
Yeah.
It is a daunting task to go audition.
Yeah.
Because
Oh my God.
You can feel like you nailed it. Like you can walk out of the room, there's still like pee dripping out down your leg, because you're like, I know I got this one. Baby, they about to call me. I'm about to pay my rent for 3 years straight.
Right.
And and just like he said, Tyler, they go home. We found somebody.
Yeah.
It,
And sometimes that's nothing to do with anything that you did. The amount of times where, even for like Abbott, there will be tapes that come in from people, and it boils down to not even whether or not the read was good. The read was great. You hit every moment. It was everything that we needed. But there's something that just doesn't quite fit the way that we need it to, whether it be a look, or sometimes it even boils down to height. Like just from quintessized, just a frame, two people in the same camera angle.
Wow.
You can't be but for so tall. So it
That's
boils
true.
down to something like that sometimes, and people take it personally. But you shouldn't. You just keep going, and there's no one can take the role that was built for you. It's not possible. I don't care what it is. When you see somebody read, and that moment and that spark happens, I've seen it happen multiple times. There's not a person on this earth that can do that but you. But if you're not called to it, it'll break you down over time.
Yes.
Yep.
Amen.
Citizens that's listening, if as an artist, however you want to define yourself, take that with you
Please.
right there,
Please,
because that is a gem. Rewind this 50 million times because you need to hear that. You're absolutely spot on. Mike Muse.
I mean, that was a word.
A word.
And I think that goes back for people who may not be interested in acting, but if you're looking for a corporate job, we're in the season right now where or high school students are receiving acceptance letters or rejection letters.
Right.
And I think that's an important takeaway, that even if you didn't get into the school of your choice, parent listening to us right now who may have a child who's not getting to the school of their choice, know that what is for your child will be for your child, right?
Amen.
And what's for you will be for you. I'm curious, though, with that being said, then talk to us about Abbott in the moment you got called to do Abbott, right? Because I would think on paper, if I was to see something, even before it came out, I was like, I don't know how a show about a school is going to work out, right? And so I'm just curious for you.
So I don't get even the first conversation about Abbott until we're in the middle of the pandemic. So I'm at home, locked down. And Quinta shoots me a DM because she had lived down the block from me at the time. It was like, hey, I have this idea for a show I'm going to go pitch, and I want to put your name in it if you're cool with that. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. I was looking at other shows at the time. There was one of which is on currently and is very successful. But again, what's for you? There was something about, one, she had built Gregory around me. And that was unique for me. I was like, okay, there's something here. But then there was that like feeling of, I don't know, every now and then you look at somebody and you're like, I feel like you got something. I feel like there's something in you to give. And that's how I felt about her. It was like, I feel like you're about to pop crazy. And I can't put my finger on why. I can't even build the evidence or the argument for it. But I know that whatever it is you're about to do is going to take off. And it was one of the biggest blessings of my life, because coming out of the pandemic, there were a lot of actors looking for jobs and trying to figure out what their next move was. And I wasn't even aware that during it all, somebody was building something for me specifically. In the time where there was the most uncertainty in the world, there was somebody sitting somewhere thinking, I have something for this person right here. And it came from a place that nobody would have expected. That gives me faith going down the line forever. If ever I'm in a place where I don't know what's supposed to be or what's supposed to happen, somewhere, somebody is working on the thing that you need, and you may not even be aware of who they are. That was the most serendipitous experience I think I've ever had in my life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
God did. God did it, man.
God did
Listen,
it.
we got Kev on the line. Kev, you've been holding forever, brother. Thank you so much calling in from Charlotte. How you doing? Say what up to Tyler. He's here.
What up, Kev?
Yo. What's up? Good morning, everybody.
Good
What's
morning.
up, Tyler? What up, bro?
What's happening, man?
What's happening?
Coolin', man. I appreciate y'all taking the time and taking the call. I want to say I am a black man in education, and when I first saw Abbott Elementary, like the first episode, like the first season, bruh, I saw myself. I don't know if you were in like the first early episodes, but like the first one or two, but I know when I saw you, I'm like, bruh, there I go. There I go. Like literally, because you dress the part, you act the part, and I'm going to say something that I don't think I've heard from people with black men in education. They want us in the building, but they don't want what comes with us, if that makes sense to y'all. And when you said you mimicked your family and things like that, and you projected that into your character, it's like, this is not me. This is a lot of things that come with me. You know what I mean? And it made sense inside the school. And when I saw you, bro, like I say, I was like, yo, every week I got my wife watching it. I think I started putting people on it before it got to like really like talking about, you know, like that water cooler conversation. But, bro, I saw you, I saw myself, and I couldn't do nothing but cheese. And also, Mike, I spoke to you a week ago about education in the Ask Mike, and that just shows how passionate I am about education these days, because it's totally different from when we grew up. And that Abbott Elementary looks like old school days. It doesn't look like new school days. It looks like old school. And it just, like I say, it just mirrored what I went through as a student in school in like to say 90s, 2000s. So yeah, man, big ups to you. And even what you're saying now is prophetic, bro.
Yes, it is.
Everything
Yes,
you're saying is what's for you might not be for you, but what's for you will be for you, and it will fit. It won't be tight. It won't be loose. It won't be uncomfortable. And bro, all of that, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. First off, thank you for the work that you do.
Yeah.
Because doing Abbott has been an education for me on the work that teachers do and the unsung heroes that they are. And it's something that you have to be called to, and it's something that nobody claps for you for. And you show up every day and you do it. And it's hard and it's not easy, and you're dealing with kids that aren't even yours. Thank you for doing that in the way that you do it, even in the midst of the silence. And it is one of the greatest honors of my career to be able to give you something to look at and see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can continue to do the show and I can continue to do that. But thank you for the work that you choose to do every day. You could do any number of things, I'm sure. You sound like a very intelligent brother. But thank you for choosing to do this, because we need you in this space. There's not enough of you in this space. And I would love to see more.
That. Thank you, man. It sounds like we on the phone, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, right.
And thank you, Kevin. But Tyler, this is what we were talking about with his role is because Kevin called up last week, and he's so passionate about the work that he does. And this we were saying, we started a conversation about how important your character is. And when I watch the show, I think about people like Kevin.
So
thank you, Kevin.
This is who this is for. Thank you.
Yo, y'all got me cheesing. Appreciate it,
listen,
y'all.
it's a feeling. You're a citizen.
I love it. I love it.
Sway in the morning.
So from Kev to Kevin, we got in PA. What's up, Kevin?
What up, Kevin?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Doing great today. Say what up to Tyler.
Tyler, how you doing? Tyler, I just want to thank you, man. You are an inspiration. And Sway, this show for Sway, man, this is the realest show I've ever heard. So I want y'all to keep on doing what you're doing, man. But Tyler, what you have said is so true about, your character Gregory. It's a struggle out here being a black man. I'm in a city that's 100,000 in Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's really not going down like it's going down in bigger cities. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a real struggle, and you showing how it's okay for black men to feel all their emotions, how it's okay to fail, how it's okay to keep trying, because you have to fail always to succeed,
Always.
And we don't teach that.
Yes.
It's part of the process.
And it's important for us to understand that. I teach a lot of workforce development myself. And I'm trying to get these families into self-sustaining jobs that are careers for their betterment for their lives, so we can stop poverty, man. It's bad out here in these streets, man. It's so bad.
You choosing to do good work.
We have to understand that accepting and expecting failure, you know what I mean? That's the key. Because once we change our mindset to become more positive, that we can make it and we can struggle and make it through that, then we understand that's part of the process of growth.
Yeah.
And that's part of the plan. And then, as you said, God is good all the time. I thank God and give him all the glory for even connecting with y'all and hearing this message.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Because this re-inspires me.
I love that.
This re-inspires me to keep going.
I love
So
that.
we just need this. We need this in our community. We need y'all to keep on doing what y'all doing, to be an inspiration to people like me, to be an inspiration to people for this next generation, because we're all we got.
It's a circle, man. If I can inspire you, then you can inspire me. And then we keep going back and forth. I'm going to take these stories and I'm going to remember them when I go to work. I'm going to remember those who are choosing to do work that's not necessarily glamorous, so that whenever I am stepping in front of a camera, and it is, I don't get it messed up and I don't get it twisted.
Wow.
So thank you for what you do and for sharing those words, man. And I hope as you go through this process, and there's going to be struggles and ups and downs, that you keep heart and you keep going. Yes, you're right. Failure is part of the process. When you're failing, you're doing something good. You're getting to it. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Man, God bless you, Brother Kevin, as well. And you're a citizen.
That's Sway in the morning.
Man.
Wow,
man.
One of them ones.
Yeah,
One of them ones.
There's a lot of good energy today.
No,
Hell
you
yeah.
said that.
Really good
And
energy
if you
today. I
don't
could
mind
feel
me
it when I
sharing
walked
it,
in.
you said that. I was going to say, he said that. He shared that when he walked in. He said the energy in here. And that's on purpose, Tyler.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
can
said to
feel it.
you, it's on purpose. Sway decided purposely he wanted to make this a safe space and a welcoming space artists and for people to come through and share their stories and talk about their purpose and their craft and what they've been chosen to do and be protected by their feelings and their thoughts in here. So thank you for your compliment to us, because we choose to do that as well.
No, thank you for continue. I've come to this show since I was in my teens.
Wow.
And I've done a lot of press, a lot of places, and talked about a lot of shows, a lot of places. No room feels like this one. This one feels actually safe. There are other people who create the illusion of it, and there's a lot of, especially in the age of the internet, of like people trying to, you can feel it. They're trying to bait you into something to create a viral image or of something. This is an actual safe space, and I think when people listen to this show, they can feel that. I feel it when I walk in the room. It's always my stop when I'm coming through New York. I can't not. And that takes a lot of fortitude to choose to do. You could do what everybody else does. You choose not to. And I commend all of you, including Sway, and I hope my mans feel better.
Yes, the snotty nose. That's
you know, it's all good. We all get it a little bit. But I commend y'all for making that choice, because not everybody always makes that choice.
Thank you.
And I can feel it.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you so much, Tyler.
Thank
Listen, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course, Abbott Elementary. Man,
I'll
I
take
can't
it.
wait for all that God has got for you. I
Yes.
cannot wait. I
Same.
cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I
I cannot
appreciate
wait.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tyler, for
Thank you for
everything.
having me.
Love you, brother.
Always.
Love you,
Always.
love you.
Thank you.
We got more Sway in the Morning coming up in just a bit. Wait, Tyler, give out your social if you want
Yes,
people to hit you up.
please.
Please.
Will Tyler James, Instagram. I try to, that's the one that feels most healthy right now.
Yeah.
The other platforms are a little nuts. So that's all I am. You want to keep up with anything that I'm doing or anything coming up or any of the, like, there's a lot of great causes that are kind of
Yeah.
being, pushed out. That's what I try to do as much as possible. Follow my page and donate where you can.
Man, Will Tyler James. TK is on the line. He wants to give you flowers, calling you a young legend. The phone
Oh, my
lines
gosh.
are literally lighting up right now. Will Tyler
Thank
James,
you.
where you can reach him. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we got more Sway in the Morning.